Week 15 of the 2024 NFL season is in the books, and the AFC playoff picture has already come into sharp focus. I mean, we don't know the exact seeding yet, but 7 teams now have a likelihood of over 90% to make the playoffs, according to ESPN's Football Power Index. That's unprecedented, marking the first time since the FPI era began in 2008 that the playoff field feels all but set by Week 15. And remember, Week 15 used to be the third to last week of the season. With 3 weeks still left to play, the AFC is essentially down to a battle for positioning. Better soak in the NFC West divisional race while you can. It's one of the few remaining pockets of suspense as the season winds toward January. Every Tuesday, I'll keep spinning the previous week's NFL action forward, analyzing what the biggest storylines mean and what lies ahead. We'll break down the fallout from Monday Night Football, dissect key trends, and spotlight individual players and performances that define the week. There will be film.
It's awesome to see kind of that hard work come to fruition.
An entire section for you data lovers, and there will be plenty of fun. This week, we take a deep dive into how Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell has engineered a playoff run with Sam Darnold under center. Could he be the new Sean McVay, the NFL's latest offensive mastermind and quarterback whisperer? Are we still somehow underestimating just how impressive his work has been this season? On top of that, we evaluate whether the Lions can still overcome a brutal run of injuries to capture a Super Bowl, examine the tight Defensive Player of the Year race, and shine a light on the sheer brilliance of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Let's jump in. Back in Week 3, I wrote about Darnold, Justin Fields, and Andy Dalton, 3 veteran quarterbacks off to surprisingly strong starts. Even then, I was skeptical of the Vikings' 3-0 start, fresh off an eye-opening win over the Texans. My doubt? Darnold's shaky track record as an NFL quarterback. Here's what I wrote at the time. Stylistically, that comparison made a lot of sense. Goff was only 1 year into his career when he came under McVay's tutelage. It was a harrowing start, but McVay turned it around by sticking Goff under center, running a ton of play action, and utilizing his excellent arm to hit intermediate windows off those run fakes. O'Connell had implemented the same system for Kirk Cousins over the past few years, and he was clearly doing the same for Darnold. But it also felt like something defenses had already solved. We all know how the story of McVay and Goff ended. Eventually, defenses figured out how to take away McVay's safety net, leaving Goff exposed and leading McVay to make the splashy move for Matthew Stafford. But there's a second part to that story. Goff himself. He wasn't the quarterback McVay needed for his evolving offense, but those years of experience in the system helped smooth out the rough edges of his game. When Goff landed in Detroit, he didn't just survive, he thrived, finally developing into the steady, veteran passer the Rams once hoped for. When I made the McVay-Goff comparison earlier this season, I was focused on the coaches, how McVay couldn't carry Goff forever, and how O'Connell might face a similar challenge with Darnold. But here in Week 15, I'm making the comparison again. This time for Darnold himself. I truly believe he can reclaim his career the way Goff has in Detroit. The offensive system O'Connell has constructed around Darnold mirrors what McVay built for Goff in their 2017-18 prime. Darnold lines up under center on 29% of his dropbacks, the 3rd highest rate in the league, and he uses play action on 27% of those dropbacks, 8th in the NFL. Those are the hallmarks of McVay's system, and they're still central to Goff's success in Detroit, where he ranks 1st in both categories this season. But the numbers only tell part of the story. O'Connell has taken a quarterback long criticized for his erratic decision-making and rebuilt him from the ground up, creating a system that minimizes his weaknesses and highlights his strengths. It's no longer about propping up Darnold. It's about giving him a second chance to prove he can thrive in the right environment, just as Goff did.